So, Coach, this time of year, halfway point, fatigue may be a problem, especially for a team like you with a short bench. So, how do you combat that in game and then out of game?
Yeah, in game, it's not a problem. We won't let it be. Practices and stuff, like, we try to manage as much as we can. How much, like Javon, for example, how much he's doing in practice, just from physical exertion standpoint of trying to minimize his reps, keep him as fresh as possible. But and then that kind of throughout the team with depending on the amount of minutes guys are playing. But when the ball's tossed up, yeah. We got to play.
You do seem conscious, though, to try to get him a quick break, maybe before a TV timeout. Is that something that you consciously do?
Yeah, no, I'd love to get him more at times. Obviously, with KJ being out, that was more difficult these last few games. So anytime we can get it around the media and give him an opportunity to just go catch his breath, and it's certainly a good thing for us to get him out and let him rest a little bit more. And I got to get him out a little more just to. It's not even being fair to him, really. So, but he did what he needed to do to get us through that stretch without KJ, and now having KJ back should certainly help a little bit with that.
Doing that, managing that, how much is it talking to the player? Says, hey, I need a break. How much do you rely on the data that you get from the trackers and all those things?
It's mostly the player, and then just our own feel. But I'm sometimes I'll ask him. And sometimes I know I can't take him out, so I don't even ask him. But Javon does a good job. Like he'll let me know as the other guys, like, hey, I need one, and then if I can get him, I will. But there's sometimes where you just can't, and it's like, just give me another minute. Let's get to the media or whatever it may be.
Do you expect to see more of what the last team did to Javon as far as defensively, and they certainly worked his butt last game.
Yeah, and that's like with Houston, that's what they do to everybody. So it wasn't specific to just Javon. That's kind of their team defense and how they play. But I think you've seen it, to your point, throughout the year. Like Javon's going to get a lot of attention coming off of ball screens. Iowa State's very good defensively, and they're certainly going to challenge everything from him on ball screens and things too. So Javon's going to see two guys to the ball a lot anytime he's in a ball screen.
Do you think he handled it well? And I say that, he had 3 shots in the second half, but he did wind up with 8 assists and 13 points, which you take.
Yeah, and I thought offensively, Javon got off to a great start in that game. I thought in the second half they tried to take him away, and it was one of our more productive halves in the second half from an offensive standpoint, and I thought that was a lot of that was because Javon made the right play. 2 guys came to the ball. He was able to get it out. We got Amani, step in threes. He was able to make other plays to, other guys as well that maybe weren't even regular assists. We call them hockey assists, where there was that extra pass. So Javon's about winning, and that's the thing I love about Javon. Like the first half, he had some opportunities to score, and he took it. Second half, he didn't get as many opportunities. From a coaching standpoint, we would like to find more ways to get him shots, even when teams are trying to take him away. But our offensive production in the second half was actually pretty good, even though he wasn't a major part of the scoring piece of it.
You study this team you're playing tomorrow. Do you think they have what it takes to make a long run in the tournament?
Yeah, I do. I think there's several teams in our league that do, but there's certainly one of them. I think they're really good. I think they're championship level good. They're a team that, like everything, you got to play well in the tournament and things, but they're a team that when they get in the tournament have a chance to win it all.
You study their stats. There are a lot to jump out at you. The shooting percentage, 17 assists. That's a high number.
Yeah.
And they've been known for defense. They've kind of added the offense to that.
Yeah, I was hoping maybe you all could come up with a weakness for me today. Yeah.
I'm looking at, yeah.
No, they're good. They're I think they were really good last year, obviously too. But I think that the component that they've improved the most on is the offensive side. Like their bigs can really pass. They play well off of one another, and I think it's really complemented their guards from a year ago. So they were great defensively last year. They're great defensively again this year. Now they can really score on top of it, which makes them even more of a challenge to try to beat.
And one more on that. What has to go right for you tomorrow, you think?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is, even in the Houston game, I think that game comes down to the wire if we take care of the ball just a little bit better. We gave too many live ball turnovers that led to transition points, and if you give Iowa State transition baskets where they're out in the open floor and you don't have a set defense, they're going to make you pay, and just like Houston did the other night. So that's a big thing for us, is taking care of the basketball, making sure we get shots on goal every time.
Around basketball, what did Jerry West mean to you? How much did you know about him maybe before you came here? What did you learn about him when you got here?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, like everybody across the world, you think of the logo, and I think having been here now, and you think about what he did and the stats and records that still stand today. I mean, it's an unbelievable accomplishment from him and what he's meant to this sport and how people perceive that. So, I think it's awesome that we get to be a part of celebrating his legacy, and having all the people that will be here to do that with us. It makes for a really special day.
You've had some good crowds recently. This game's been sold out for like a week. Just kind of what are you expecting tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm expecting this place to be rocking. I mean, that's our reputation as a fan base. The Coliseum is really highly thought of across the basketball world. Even when I was looking, at what's this job about and things, that's the first thing that comes out from almost everybody is Big 12 play. That place is legit. From a fan standpoint, and has an impact on games. So I'm really excited to feel that. The students are back. It's sold out, and I can't wait for that energy and to fill the arena tomorrow.
Going back to Jerry West for a second, are you able to teach this team about Jerry a little bit? Because obviously, just like yourself, everyone pretty much is new to WVU this year. So do you talk to them about Jerry West before this game, or is that just something you have to put aside when you've got the number 2 team in the country coming in?
No, I think it's something we'll talk about even today. Of hey, here's what we have going. Here's the people that are coming into town for it. They're younger guys, and they're not going to remember him as a player. But like I said before, everybody knows who Jerry West is because of the logo, and so everybody can understand and appreciate what he's meant to the sport of basketball.
Going off the past, I remember when you were talking about going into the big game, the Kansas game, about how balanced those teams were. I'm wondering if Iowa State might be the most balanced team you've faced this year, and how do you decide from the coaching standpoint who to help off of and stuff like that? Because I can't imagine those are easy decisions with a team like Iowa State.
Yeah, as you mentioned, they're if they're not the best, they're one of the best or most balanced teams out there in terms of the ways that they can score and beat you, and that's what's I think really elevated them to another level this year. It's like there's a lot of hard decisions to make, from a defensive side of it. Of like, can't take away everything, so you got to pick something, and then have a plan B as well. If that's not working, all right, let's go to this. But they present those challenges. I think the biggest thing is you got to compete at every position to make things as difficult as possible. Similar to our game the other night, when you make a mistake, they capitalize on it. So you got to make as few mistakes as possible. You're never going to play a perfect game, but making as few of those mistakes as you can is going to be really important.
On their part, what do you think? 7, 8 guys who could legitimately score double figures any game? I mean, how deep do they go, do you think?
Yeah, I mean they're starting 5. I mean, Jones started the last game. I mean, he was in Big 12 play. I think he was averaging 21 points a game coming off the bench. I mean, that's kind of nice, Yeah, those five for sure. Now that Jones is in that starting lineup, they can fill it up in a hurry. And I just think they just all come in and they all play well together. I don't think they care who scores, who doesn't score. They play to win, and they do a great job. TJ's done an incredible job of building that culture up to where they're not about stats. They're about winning, and they play that way.
Kid who got hurt. Obviously, you don't feel sorry for him because you're dealing with your own deal. But what did they lack with him out of there that he was giving them? What are they missing there?
Yeah, I think what he brought to him was just kind of a mismatch in terms of he had great size. He could step out and shoot it. He could post it a little bit. He had a lot of, I would say, similar qualities to Tucker a little bit, of where he presents, he can post, he can space. So those are the type of ways they utilized him that why he was pretty effective in what they did. So like everything, when you lose a guy like that, you lose a little bit of your firepower, but they still have plenty.
I don't think Iowa State had a lead against Texas Tech until overtime. Is there something that you've seen in that game that Texas Tech did well that you'd like to try to emulate?
There's a few things that we're going to try. Yeah. No, I thought Texas Tech had a good game plan. They did some good things, executed, made some shots. That always helps too. Great game to watch. As you're getting ready to prepare, high level game, and I thought Iowa State did a really good job, as you mentioned. Like they stayed in it the whole way, and in a game where it didn't look great there for a little while, but I think that's that championship culture. They keep competing and found a way to win.
Coach, now that we've kind of reached the second half of the season with Tucker, I'm just kind of curious, does there become a point in your mind where there's like a no return kind of thing in terms of, do we play him or do we redshirt him for next year? Is there like a target they do? Is there a point where it just doesn't make sense to?
I'm sure there might become a point, but it's not there yet. Yep.
In terms of him, though, this is, from my understanding, his first big stretch he's missed in his career. Do you have to talk to him to keep him from getting bummed out, depressed, or coach his kid, suck it up, and just deal with it? How do you handle him?
I mean, for him, even though he didn't miss time, he's been dealing with injuries for a couple of years now. So I think he knows how to manage it. He knows he understands that this is part of the game a little bit. But he stayed engaged and doing what he needs to do to get back on the floor, but also with our team and doing what he can from the sideline to try and continue to help us.
His ankle.
Oh, good.
It's good.
Yep. See, I gave you an injury
Yeah,
report.
thank you. I appreciate that. We'll mark that down. Day and time.
Anything else?
Thank you all.